if you truly think about it, right, the people who control the world is us, but we're controlled by the 1%. So in a sense, you can say that they control the world, really. By we, I mean us as a people in general. You know, we're consumers. You know, we vote them into power, and we do certain things that give these people the power to do what they do. So in a sense, it is really us that are controlled, but because we're brainwashed by media, ultimately it's us that have the power to do something about it. Just pick up a book and do some research for yourself and think about, you know, really what you're going to dedicate yourself to, and just read about what's going on this planet, read your history, and make sure you know about politics, because whether you like it or not, those do play a big part in everything that's around us. It's very difficult with honest news because most of the news is biased. The way I'd say get honest news is, I would say, if you want to get honest news, you have to get it from multiple sources, you know. You have to go from one source to another. But you don't really want to waste your time with that. It's kind of long. One other miseducation is that school is the best thing for you, because I don't necessarily believe that is true. I believe school is good for you, but it shouldn't be a necessity, because not everyone wants to learn math, not everyone like wants to do English, because the way school is structured is that the arts and the creative subjects are at the bottom, which is what we're naturally born with. You know, people have a natural artistic talent which they can choose to bloom if they choose to. I think it's just done completely wrong. I think it's just horrible. Like, in a sense where, you know, you have to put your hand up to speak and stuff like that. Your teacher can tell you to shut up, and you don't, and like, hey, what the fuck? Why would you be taught to shut up? No, I always believe that there should be a form of mutual respect. It's kind of weird when you can't argue back because you got a detention and you're not allowed to be let explain yourself. I mean, in society we have courts. You know, you can appeal if something doesn't go your way, but in school you can't seem to do that. If you get an hour detention, all they do is call your parents, and then, what the fuck? The amount of time I wanted to spark a teacher in his face! This brought my emotions up. I never understood the thing of boys and girls schools. I just never understood that. Why would you send your child to an only boys school and only girls school if the environment they live in is surrounded by both sexes? You know, most people that leave those schools end up crazy. You know, there's a huge misconception as well about private schools. Many teachers tell you that a private school is no different from a public school. Yes, it is. That's why you get fucking asked to which school you go to when you go to a job interview. You know, like when you're always applying for shit, they ask you what's your secondary school. That's because if you went to like fucking, what's that school? What's that private school? Blackheath fucking High, or you went to Blackheath Blucher, who the fuck are they going to choose? You know, schools do matter, and a public school, like a public school, is very different from a private school. I believe that people should know that being in a private school is not necessarily better, but it's more segregated than you think. You know, people from private school are a lot more different than people that don't go to private school. I'm pretty certain about that. Fear and other emotions as well. People are very scared. You know, the government is like, school is the best way to go, and then mothers don't listen to their children when their children say, I want to go to dance school, I want to go to drama school. They're like, no, you know. And there's things like school that just endures that fear in people. You know, it endures that fear in people because school just brings a form of structure to someone's life that's not their own. You know, I think one of the most common reasons subconsciously why people go to university is because they fear a life without structure. Because when you're 18 and you don't have to go to school, waking up in the morning and not knowing what to do is a fucking chore. Like, there's nothing to look forward to because there's no school, it's just you now and you're an adult. And people seek some form of, you know, routine in their life just to make sure that they're doing something. In order to make a change in the world, it starts, this is going to sound very cheesy, but it starts with a change in yourself. Before you try and like inflict your views upon anyone else, you just have to make sure your views are educated. Just educate yourself on public education, find out where it came from, because if you do find out where it came from, you'll be fucking surprised. You know, just read about your race, if you're white, if you're Asian, if you're black. Just try and find out about your race and just do your own thing, man. Just educate yourself first. Then you see the world around you changing because your perspective changed. And then you're able to adapt to it and thus making a change to the world, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
sociopolitic, it's so hard, it's such a hard word to say. It's a hard word to say. If it's fuck's sake. So fucking laughing. One of the biggest factors that contribute, fuck's sake.